All right, this is Spain's second World Cup victory in 16 years. Darren Lewis joins us live now to talk about the significance of the victory for the players and the fans. Darren, there is a particular style of Spanish football that the world is now quite familiar with, right? This idea of just keeping possession of the ball at all costs. You know, you didn't have a dog in the fight when we spoke last week. I was supporting Argentina. I was crushed by their loss. You know, when you look at what went wrong for the team, I mean, this whole strategy for Argentina of, you know, don't worry, Messi will save us. Don't worry, guys, even if we're 2-0 down, don't worry, Leo's got us. That strategy worked well until it didn't.
I think you're absolutely right. There's only so many times that you can get the Superman of a player to look for a telephone box on the pitch before he runs out of road. And I think everything that you just said is so right. By the way, we all want an excuse not to have to go to work. And had England won, it would have been fantastic because our bosses would have been celebrating with us as well. But now it's the Spanish who get the chance to do it. And they do it, you know, Zain, because they played the best football. They operated best as a team. 2 words for you, tiki-taka. That's the possession style of football that they play. They conceded only 1 goal in the entire tournament. And, you know, we do love to rave about the A-list names, France, Mbappe, England, Kane, Bellingham, Argentina, as we've been saying, Messi, Norway had Haaland, but Spain, Zain, they had a team. And the strength of that team was that you could take any single player out, replace him with someone else in that squad, and they would still be effective. They really were worthy winners, despite Argentina trying to kick them off the pitch.
Yeah, the way they play football, it is so clean. They play football so clean. So if I was going to give a trophy to any player yesterday, it would be the Argentine goalkeeper. Because what he had to, because if Spain has most possession of the ball, then the Argentine goalkeeper, you can only imagine the sort of pressure that he was under for, 2 hours. I think he saved something like 12 goals. And the level of concentration required. I mean, and you know, goalkeeper is such a thankless job. I mean, there aren't that many goalkeepers who are household names, but what he did on that pitch was incredible.
It really was. And it was a measure of Spain's dominance as well, because in the 90 minutes, Argentina did not have a single shot on goal. In fact, their first effort on goal was in the 117th minute of the match, so deep into extra time, whereas Spain were reining in shots from all over the place and really giving the Spanish keeper a lot to think about. And had it not been for his agility, and you can argue maybe Spain not crowning their dominance in quite the way that we believed that they would, the result could have been far, far more emphatic. Argentina defending champions, but you called it, Zain, Messi could only take them so far. Spain's team look as though they could take them to many more trophies. They've now won 2 World Cups in the last, 20 years. They've won a Nations League. They're Olympic champions as well. They are just unstoppable.
Just in terms of I found this World Cup so exciting. I mean, what am I going to talk about now that it's over? But I found the World Cup so exciting. I think some of the key headlines, I mean, my favorite was obviously Cape Verde. I found it was unfortunate what happened to Team USA. I mean, it wasn't their fault, but the way the world sees it is that the Americans cheated and then lost. I mean, obviously, it's one thing to cheat and win, but to cheat and lose is obviously very embarrassing. Just walk us through your thoughts on President Trump's interference, Cape Verde, how they, you know, just came from nowhere and really showed us what they were made of, especially against Argentina, and also all the VAR controversies as well.
Well, first of all, it really was a World Cup where red cards that should have been red cards and seeing players banned from subsequent games were not red cards that saw players banned from subsequent games. And even before the Flo Balogun situation, you know, Zain, we had the situation with Cristiano Ronaldo, sent off for Portugal in the final game of qualifying, but he had his red card suspended for a year. And we heard from the Trump administration, they like to see the biggest players operating on this stage at their party. So he was able to play in Portugal's first 2 games. Then, of course, as you say, we had the Balogun situation, his red card against Bosnia, suspended in inverted commas, allowing him to play against Belgium after a certain someone made that call to the FIFA president asking him to have a review. It was a real shame, and I tell you why, Zain. There'd been so much neutral support for the US. They'd played so well, done so well, defied so many odds under Mauricio Pochettino, and it led people to get behind the Belgians, and the whole thing ended up overwhelming the American team. Just very quickly on Cape Verde, they not only were able to hold the eventual champions to a goalless draw, but they also frightened the life out of the finalists because, of course, Argentina only beat them by 3-2, and that was after Cape Verde put up a hell of a fight. And they really did make the case for expanding the World Cup. We're used to the old order, but some of the legacy teams, Italy can't get into a World Cup, Germany are not the force they once were, Netherlands not the force they once were, and it may well be that some of the coming powers are some of the smaller nations that we maybe don't give enough of the time of day.
Do not underestimate the African teams. That is, I think, something that people should remember after this World Cup. And also, I do have to run, but also, I loved what England did in that match against France. It shows what the Brits can do when there's no pressure. When the pressure is off, we get 6 goals. When there's pressure, I mean, obviously, it's a different environment when there's nothing at stake anymore other than third place. But Darren, we have to leave it there. I hope I have you on again soon. Talk more soccer, but I don't know when. But this was fun. This was fun. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate it.